Hello, welcome back to Planner Apocalypse. My name is Maureen, Momo, Keen, any of these things. I'm trying out this kind of idea where I would talk about the astrology forecast, about the moon phase to go with the Memento Mori Goal Planner, which I have designed. I might make this into a little podcast. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, happy new moon in Aries, take 2. Today is April 19th, 2023 at 9:13 p.m. Pacific time, or like 12:13 on the 20th, which is tomorrow. We will have our new moon in completion or whatever. This is a solar eclipse as well, so that made things, extra potent. This is the second new moon in Aries this year, the first one being March 21st, which was the solstice. So how is it that we have 2 new moons in the same sign consecutively? That is because, in case you, again, missed the last random video that I made, your astrology chart is a circle, so 360 degrees, and there are 12 zodiac signs, so every sign gets 30 degrees of that 360 degree pie. And last month, Aries had its first new moon at, one of the beginning degrees of Aries. And coming out, we are in the final anaretic degree, or the degree of fate or of mastery of Aries. So coming out of it with, all of the knowledge that Aries has. So what does that mean for us? Different things. I'm going to try to keep this simple. I'm not super duper knowledgeable quite yet. I'm still very much an amateur astrologer or, whatever. But if you want to dive deeper into this subject, I highly recommend the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast with 𝖙𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖙 and Conscious Embodiment with Dr. 𝖙𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖙. Those are probably my 2 favorite astrology podcasts, though I also listen to 𝖦𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖙's Mainly Moonology podcast and Chloe Taylor's Divine Authenticity podcast. All of these hit on astrology, but the first 2 are weekly forecast kind of podcasts. So if you have this planner, you can follow along with me in your book. It's going to be after your goal setting section, the part where it's talking about using natural cycles as reminders. You've got your planetary and astrology cheat sheets. So this is your astro-lunar cycles and their themes. Again, this is a new moon. New moons represent fresh starts. I will go into the eclipse part in a little bit. Themes and associations found with Aries are taking initiative, courage, and inspiration. If you, again, have the Memento Mori Goal Planner, the related life domains for goal setting, if you want to set new intentions now for the new moon, that would be alignment and self-expression, emphasis on alignment, know thyself, and practice, because Aries is all about, doing and getting things done. So the fact that we have a second new moon in the same sign makes you think about second chances, right? So if you think back to a month ago, the first new moon in Aries was March 21st. So if you did set intentions last time, how's it been going? For me personally, it's not been going well. Yeah. So think about what commitments you have. Are you ready to recommit to these things? You're getting a second chance because, this lunation is hitting the same house in your birth chart. For me, my Aries is in the 4th house. So that's like home and family and stuff, ancestors, roots. I did set new intentions last month, or intentions in general. I would like to move on from that and set new intentions, I think. I have to actually look in my journal to see what I actually said, but it's okay to decide, hey, this isn't working out for me, and to change your mind and do something different. And that's where we come to the power of eclipse season, because this is the start of eclipse season. So for the next 18 months, we're going to be hitting eclipses. So it starts off with a new moon, so that's a solar eclipse, and then full moons are a lunar eclipse. The next eclipse that we are getting is going to be the full moon in Scorpio, which is May 5th. I have a poster of my lunar calendar up there. So, and then after May, we are going to have our next set of eclipses in October. And if you, once again, if you have the Memento Mori Goal Planner, these eclipses and lunations should be marked in your planner. So yeah, there's a couple of different schools of thought on eclipses. In the ancient world, eclipses were thought of as being very inauspicious. You know, literally something was blocking out the light of the sun or the moon. For lunar eclipses, you know, they turn blood red. So kind of spoopy, you know, they didn't know what the heck was happening. So if we're talking about podcasts, Chani will tell you, yeah, don't work with eclipses because it's kind of inauspicious. And then we have Dr. 𝖒𝖊𝖓𝖓 being like, yeah, no, do it. So as always, I will leave it up to the viewer. You know, do what feels good to you. I like to think of eclipses as being a portal, or like think Stargate if you're a science fiction nerd like me. It's like taking you to a new way of being. This is also a north node eclipse. I'm actually not sure if all of the solar eclipses are north node eclipses and then the lunar eclipses are south node eclipses, but the lunar nodes are part of the whole eclipse thing. They are envisioned as like a dragon, so the mouth of the dragon is the north node, and that whatever sign that the north node is in, that's going to be like an insatiable hunger for, there's an increase for it. And then the tail of the dragon is going to be a decrease, so you're supposed to be moving away from that, cutting it out. So it does help if you know your rising sign and like have your birth chart and stuff. To find out your rising sign, you need to know the time of your birth and the place of your birth. And you can go to astroseek.com, astro-seek.com, to draw up your birth chart for free. Chani also does it. One thing to note is that Chani uses whole sign houses, as does 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓𝖓 and a number of other astrologers. Dr. 𝖒𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓 uses the Placidus system, which is much more mathematical. Whole sign is a lot older. It's a good place to start. I think it's a lot easier to get your footing that way, because with Placidus, there's like inclusions in your chart and like trapped houses and crazy things that I don't even, I'm not ready for that yet. But anyway, so yeah, with the North Node eclipse, think of it as, you know, a wormhole or a portal or something that is taking you to a new place. So this is just what I tend to think of eclipses as being, because you do have both lunar nodes acting together, not at the same time. Like the full moon eclipse is going to be next month. So you're going to have a beginning and you're going to have an ending. Personally, I always envision eclipses as being slightly more, sorry, I'm watching a crow outside. Slightly more, I don't want to say permanent, but I've got it. So if you think about in story structure, if you're a writer, you have, you know, your plot points, and then you've got your normal world, right? You're the main character, you're just kind of like doing your thing. And then something happens to get you through that first doorway of no return. And then you are in the adventure world, and this door closes forever, because once you pass through this door, whatever knowledge you gained here or whatever event happens here, you cannot go back to the world that you knew before this. That's how I think of eclipses, as being just kind of like this doorway of no return, whether that means we're getting like an increase or a cutting off, or an ending or a beginning, which are really kind of the same thing. But yeah, that's my views on eclipses. I would encourage you to check out, you know, the podcast. I'll link them down below. They are far more knowledgeable than me, and I'm sure they have notes written, and I have not a lot of notes written, so I'm riffing again off the top of my head, which doesn't ever seem to end well. But yeah, new intentions, setting intentions. Think about where in your life you can take initiative, you can show a little courage, you can be authentically you. And especially if, you know, this is the second new moon in Aries again. So, you know, this is a do-over. If you have something that happened last month around, you know, the 21st, maybe it's time to get aligned with who you are and not care so much about making everybody else happy. And I'm going to be taking that to heart. All right, well, now I'm gonna like edit this disaster of a video and maybe make a podcast. I don't really know. If you liked this, thanks for watching. What kind of intentions are you setting for this second new moon eclipse in Aries? Lay low for a little bit and then set your intentions maybe a couple hours after the peak. Okay? All right, well, thanks for watching. Bye.